Baldur's Gate 3.
Baller.
Game we've been waiting on for a long time. You know, I looked at my Steam and we had played the early access in 2020. October
Jesus.
2020 is when
Seriously?
they brought out early access. So after they shut down early access, it's been 3 years that they've been working on continuing to finesse this game. And I have to say, they've made a lot of changes.
A lot of changes.
Yeah.
Like everything's almost different.
So Austin, you played most of this. I
did.
I got in the character creator screen. I made a character. I played like 5 minutes of the beginning part of the whatever.
I'm done.
And then a house in my neighborhood caught on fire, and I had to get off because I was worried that it was going to come to my house. So
What the hell
stopped
were
playing.
you going to do?
Well, I was going to leave my house, so I
Why?
wasn't going to die in the house.
Why?
Because if the house catches on fire, I'm going to burn to death.
I would keep playing until I saw smoke in my house and then leave.
Well, yeah. I mean, I would have done that, but yeah. Either way, I logged off, and then
He was ready.
Yeah, I was preparing myself.
One side of flame. I'm out.
I'm out.
No, I'm really impressed. You know, a lot of games might have beta, and then you go back and you start the game over again because like some of the games available, and then it's like, oh, okay, I remember this part from the beta. But as I was playing this game, I was like, wow, all this is different. Like things have been cut, things have been streamlined.
Mm-hmm.
Like getting off of the ship at the beginning is not a long process like it used to be, and you kind of go straight to the control
potatoes.
room to advance the story where you crash and stuff. Spoilers, I guess, but I feel like it's been out
It's
there
early
for
enough in the game, yeah.
So and
There's
then
like 200 hours of content in this game.
yeah.
Fine.
So progressing forward and like seeing little changes here and there, it's just like, whoa, like I don't know what the process was, but for me, I felt like they were like, we could do this better. We can change it. Plus, when people come in, people who've been playing the beta over and over again will be able to come in and be like, this is a completely new game almost.
Yeah.
And so that's been super refreshing, super awesome. And I've been enjoying every second of this game. Like the combat is pretty fluid. I feel like the maps are basically the same, especially the early maps.
Yeah.
There wasn't much change in that I noticed, but I mean, it's still fun to go in there, do things that you have done before, like certain encounters, kind of know how to approach that and kind of like boost yourself forward to get to all the new stuff that you haven't played yet. Because I think in the beta, you just had the first starting area and there was a bridge you could go to that would allow you to go to another area. And there's a dragon there and it would come down and then it was like, that's it. That's the beta. And I was like, ah, damn it. Just getting good. And the cutscenes, man. I feel like the cutscenes got better as well.
Oh yeah. I think the whole graphical quality of this game is way better.
Yeah.
Like it looks really, really sharp.
Yeah.
Some depth of field stuff going on in the cutscenes and everything. It's very impressive.
Yeah. So watching the cutscenes is just awesome. The amount of cutscenes available is amazing. I'm sure they have some kind of cutscene generator in there because almost every person you talk to talks back to you and you can have a conversation with. It's like, it reminds me of Mass Effect. Like that whole, you can talk to people, here's all the dialogue, you can go left or right, good or bad and stuff like that. And it's just super immersive. I do think it does get kind of boring, just like traversing in the perspective that you're in sometimes. Because I guess I get ahead of myself because I'm like, I need to travel this far place. The camera can go fairly far, but then it stops once it reaches a certain distance from your character, and then you have to wait for your character to trudge along to get to this area. And it's like, no, I want to go look out, like because your camera can almost fly anywhere with a certain distance from your character. So if you want to look up high, sometimes you can't look up high in the camera. Your character has to go up high so it can reach the elevation to look on like what's above you and stuff, which I think gets kind of annoying. Like I kind of wish the camera was a little more freeform flying.
It is interesting because it's different than Diablo in that Diablo you move around within the screen and you move to the edge of the screen. That's when the camera moves with you,
Right.
And you can zoom in and out on your character, but you can't ever do it. But in this game, you can actually move the camera around away from center point of your character, but it is limited.
And so you can kind of, I like it.
It's to help. I think it's to help you plan out because in a turn-based, it's a turn-based game. So
Yes.
in order to like kind of plan out, okay, I want to maybe move here and then move. You can look up a little bit further than your character's field of view. So
You can move around the battlefield.
somewhere you want to go, maybe
Yeah.
to like stalk behind somebody or whatever.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the camera, like, when you go into a building, the camera will kind of like fade into the building. I don't know. That's the best way to, like, the ceilings and walls will disappear and you can see what's inside. So, I mean, it's a little weird. And sometimes it doesn't always work the way I want to. Like, when your character goes into a building, you can see in the building. But sometimes I want to be able to see in the building before my character goes in there to see what's in there. If I want to go in there, you can hold Alt on the PC and you can pull up items and bodies and things you can interact with around the world. And so if you can't see it, if your character can't see it, it won't pop up. So it's like, I want to go into a house and see if there's anything in there.
Yeah.
But no, my character has to go in there
Actually
first.
be in the
and
room
then you
and
can
look.
see. Yeah,
Well, that makes sense. Like from a D&D perspective,
That's true, that's
it's
true.
like
You don't
you
really
want to
know.
you don't know what's through that door until
Yeah.
you open that door. And
Yeah.
it's like you might have a trap, you might have whatever. So
I'm just so like, I want to know. Like, I'm trying to like beeline through this stuff. I think it does get kind of boring just like moving around certain areas after you completed some, like the intro area. Like you do all the missions and there's a lot of traveling like back, forth.
Is there a fast travel?
There is a fast travel
Okay.
system. But then it's like, oh, I didn't look at this nook and cranny that I know there's something there, so I need to go back. You can teleport closer, but you still have to travel around and
Right.
stuff. And sometimes I forget about the fast traveling. I just like to walk around. I mean,
walk
the
around
world's
and
beautiful.
explore. Yeah.
It's amazing. There's a lot of like cool little hidden side quests and items and chests that you can find.
When does the rolling get involved? Like rolling the dice? I'm curious on that.
Yeah.
Does it happen during combat or does it happen like doing things? Can you like how D&D is
So,
this? That's what I'm curious
In
about.
combat, okay, so dice rolls happen like all the time.
Okay,
It's just like D&D.
it's
so
like
it's
exactly 100%.
If you want to talk to somebody, you can use your persuasion, you can use your intimidation to roll to do that with that person. If you're trying to go through a room, sometimes you do a roll. If you want to make a jump, there's your athletics checks to make the jump across the thing.
Okay.
Just like D&D. Yeah.
You can walk into an area.
So even
and
with
there's
like attacking and stuff, I have to roll to make sure I hit
no,
the AC.
that's
or-
all behind the scenes.
That's
yeah,
behind
some
the
of it's
common
just
is
happening
fluid.
automatically.
Yeah,
But you
combat's
also
fluid.
have the ability to pull up and you can see a log and see like what your rolls were. So it is rolling.
So it
but
is
it's
rolling, but it's
automating
in the
that.
back.
yeah.
Because I did see, I don't know if you guys know this, but you can go into the settings because the game auto does this, is where if you're getting a streak of bad rolls, it will fix it where you can have an even roll.
Oh, that's interesting.
So you need to go into your settings if you want a true D&D experience. A lot of the hardcore guys are like, I want a like no shit. If I'm rolling, this is it.
Yeah.
It's not going to balance it out, and it even does it for the enemies as well. So if you're
Interesting,
like
interesting.
killing them like crazy, they're going to
Yeah.
give them a higher chance to get a better roll. So it's in the settings somewhere.
That's interesting.
So just a
I might need to look at
TikTok
that.
facto.
cool.
I want to play. This is. I'm kind of lost on how I want to. I'm going to play through this game, but I want to create other characters. But I don't know if I want to go back and play this game.
That's a
again.
lot.
Yeah, like it might be one of those games I don't play for a year or two, and I'm like, okay, I want to go.
back
and
to it.
experience.
Is there
this
multiplayer?
D&D.
No.
Yes, you
There
bring up
is,
to
okay.
3 other people in your world that you guys can travel with and
Only
do quests
3?
together. Yeah, it's a party of 4.
Okay.
So, and I don't think this was in the beta, but when you create a character,
Mm-hmm.
you can, instead of like creating your own character, you can actually pick one of the main characters that you find along the way as companions.
Yeah, I just
and
noticed
be
that.
one of
and
those.
Be one of them.
So you don't have to create your own character.
But you're still following the same storyline.
Yes, yeah. So it's just that character talking and stuff. And each of them have like a backstory and a goal. Everyone's trying to get back to Baldur's Gate because that's where this like all took place. And so it's
Yeah.
cool to kind of like, being someone who's not one of them, like you can kind of go into their storylines and see like where they came from, where they're going, issues that they have. Like the thief rogue guy's a vampire, and I've come to find out that he has the main guy who turned him into a vampire is looking for him, so he sends bounty hunters after him, and you come across one of those bounty hunters. And during that conversation, you can rat him out and then start a battle, or you can like walk around it and be like, oh man, yeah, like we'll look out for that vampire. We'll let you know. And I got to do both because the first time I did it, I think I ended up dying. So I had to go back and do it again. And I was like, I don't want to fight this guy. So it's really cool, man. Like I've been enjoying it, like especially going into certain areas. Like There's a swamp in the first area that is basically the hag's domain.
Yeah.
So you could go there and face her, but she has traps along the way that really mess with you. So when you go into combat, you're like severely weakened. So it's like finding the, like, because if you don't have the perception checks go, because you go in a random area and it does an automatic perception check if something's there.
Okay.
Like traps and things like that. And so there's all these things that start stacking on you like you would in D&D. Mm-hmm. And it's really interesting to see how they play out. Dynamics. Always save, because if you don't save, you have to, well, you're stuck with your consequences.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I'm kind of like up in the air about. Because if it's nice that you can save every second of this game, but I kind of wish some of my consequences were more
Deadly?
solid.
Solid?
Like stuck in stone. So there is a moment where I got to the Underdark, which is a really cool area, and there was minotaurs in there. And so I was on this bridge, which I didn't realize was a bridge, and this minotaur charged across the bridge, throwing two of my guys off the bridge into
The darkness.
And they died. Now, there is a guy you can find along the way, which if you played the beta, you probably know where he is. You can recruit him or you befriend him. He goes to your camp. You can go and pay 500 gold to bring back those dead characters with all their stuff, which is cool. But I don't want to go through all that trouble, especially you're like, well, now I have to go back to camp, which isn't a huge thing, and get those guys back, go back out. And so I just like save and reload. And it's like, man, I wish sometimes you couldn't do that.
That you couldn't just save and reload.
Yeah.
So you're just stuck with your consequences. That
Exactly.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because I mean, in D&D, it's kind of like that.
Yeah,
You're
it
kinda
is.
just
And that was actually going to be my next question. So, is there permadeath in this game?
There's no permadeath.
That
You can leave them dead if you want to, but there is a guy there who allows you to resurrect them.
Okay.
Yeah, for money. Now, I don't know if that increases over time. Like, the more people die, the more money it costs. But I feel like money is pretty precious in this game. You gain it kind of quickly because you can pick up a lot of loot along the way. So I just pick up all the weapons and armor I find. I can go to someone to sell, and you sell it back. And then you're like, oh, these guys have a lot of good armor and abilities and, like, upgraded armor I want. So I'm going to buy that. And there's this kind of, like, cycle of stuff. But I seem to have pretty decent amount of money most of the time.
Okay, so like the characters you find along the way, because I'm watching the video and stuff, can you switch between them, or you just control all of them whenever you go in combat?
You can switch between them. So if you go like
with the
you create a
cinematic
character,
stuff, like if
yes,
you can switch and be like, I want this guy
to be talking
to talk.
Yeah.
And does that give you an advantage of some way? Because
It
like
can.
with the rogue, he has the thieves talk or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to get some more like a different conversation started, okay, so you can do something like that.
Yeah.
So it is very D&D-ish.
Yeah. So if like one guy goes to, and I mean, yeah, it is very D&D-ish, but you know, obviously the DM at the table can kind of decide the rules of the world.
Yeah, that's true
So
too.
Sometimes, well, in this one, you can go to a chest, and one guy can roll, and be like, "Oh,
I got like a 2
I
or
don't
something.
I don't know. I don't know what this is, or I can't unlock it, or you know, you're trying to do Arcana check, and the other you can have another character go up to it who has X amount of extra bonus to the roll, and then he can roll too. And with this, certain characters get inspiration,
Okay.
like randomly throughout just playing the game for certain reasons, and you can use those to help reroll certain things because some choices are like, that's it.
Set in stone.
Yeah,
That's it.
That's
You're done.
it. So you can use your inspirations. You might have one or two of them, and then once you're out and you haven't rolled good, well, that's that. So I like that. And I think it's interesting because
That's pretty cool.
I think when we were playing with Travis, inspiration was used for
It was for
things.
rerolls.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was for I think that's what it was. I don't know because all D&D because I'm listening to D&D podcasts. I listen to Dungeons and Dragons. No, not that's Dungeons and Dragons. Stinky Dragon podcast.
Okay,
by
okay.
Rooster Teeth, and then Dungeons and Daddies. I listen to them too.
Gotcha.
Fucking phenomenal. But they basically like Dungeons and Daddies. They're kind of lenient on the rules because they just do whatever they kind of want.
That's cool.
And just have the basics of D&D, and that's what
Okay.
kind of used to. But they use the inspiration as a reroll, and I'm pretty sure that's what we do with Travis. I'm pretty sure it's a reroll, or you add on to it. No, it has to be.
Inspiration is the token, right?
Yeah, it's the token.
Yeah,
it's a
it
reroll.
gives you an advantage.
Is there an advantage?
It's the same difference, really.
Okay, yeah. Add an extra die or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this
yeah,
game,
he does it. We add the extra d20.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. So in this one, you get inspirations throughout the world randomly for certain characters, and it all kind of just stacks, like pulls up. And then as you do certain rolls, you can use that inspiration to re-roll certain things. So, yeah, I mean, it's nice. It's definitely been helpful.
Yeah.
So, I like it. I'm enjoying the cutscenes. I'm enjoying the characters. There's a lot to dive into. Like having to replay the first part again wasn't a slog like you thought it might be because we played the beta, and getting to finally go to the Underdark, see a whole new area, which is massive. It is very expansive.
I bet.
I'm excited to see where else I go. And when you're leaving the first area, you're given a choice to go above ground or underground. And so the druid that you find in the first area, who was also in the beta, he tells you like the pros and cons to making this choice. So it's kind of like, oh, dang, what do I do? Because like I want to see the world, but for me, I felt like the safest thing was to go underneath and fight drow and spiders and beholders that are down there.
I feel like I
spiders.
can't. I can't do this game. I want to play this game, but I can't.
Yeah.
This is life consuming. I feel like this
It
game
is.
will like take over my life, like 100%. It sounds so fun. I've been craving to play D&D for a while.
Yeah.
But
I really want to get a game. I want to treat this like D&D, but get a group of us together.
Group of us
Just
together?
That'd be
like
great.
we would with D&D.
Yeah.
But without the dungeon master,
But see, in the
Yeah.
beta, you could, if you joined, you could go off and do whatever you wanted by yourself. And you can start cutscenes and make things happen that we can't see. So that's kind of like, you can split the party.
Yeah.
So
basically.
here's my big thing. I'm curious how far like something like this would go. This is amazing. This is outstanding.
Yeah.
But like let's say Baldur's Gate 3, whenever we have the technology and stuff like that to create our own cutscenes like with dreams or anything like that, for a DM to actually do a multiplayer thing, to be the DM in the game while the other players are playing.
Yeah, that would be sick.
That would be crazy.
And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't have that as part of their like eventual plan.
But I don't see how they can do it. Not unless the cutscenes are just all typed out or stuff like that.
That's
And,
true. Yeah,
and
that's
like
hard.
it has to be one-on-one, you know what I mean? Because the player can say anything or do anything. But I feel like that's what we're leading up to for like Baldur's
Eventually,
Gate 4.
you just plug in AI and they do all the.
And that's another thing,
They
You
do all that
just-
for you.
Man,
Yeah.
I didn't realize. I knew it was like D&D, but I didn't know how like in depth it was.
Oh
But,
no,
like,
it goes
looking at
deep, man. Deep.
it. Ooh, yeah,
It's literally as close to D&D as you can get in a
Yeah,
video game.
in a video game.
Yeah. So it's worth playing, especially love D&D. I mean, I think people could play this game for years because this has over 10,000 unique endings, which I don't even see how that's possible. How they even came up with that, how you storyboard that out. Well, because, the whole story is you got a tadpole in your head, right? And then as you progress, people either find you, like seek you out and like, I can help you remove this for a price. Or, hey, I might know where to find a cure, so we need to go X place. Or like, I'm gonna try surgery on you. There's like all these different things that and everyone's always like, I can help you get this tadpole out. But for the story,
Tadpole
you
before
meet
it turns into a frog.
Yeah. In the story, you meet a god in your dreams, and he's like, don't take it out because you need to use this power that you get from the tadpole in order to destroy this big evil thing. So there's like this whole push and pull. Like, what do you do? Like, where do you go? How do you pursue this? Like, if you take it out, do you just like, is that going to hinder you like significantly?
Oh
or
yeah,
if
it's
you leave it
probably going
in,
to.
is there going to be some kind of twist at
And
the
to
end?
be honest, the thing that was
Because you could turn to a mind flare at any point,
the
technically.
god or whatever was talking to was probably actually a tadpole.
It might be.
Yeah.
Because everyone has the same dream.
Yeah.
So we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know.
What,
But you get powers by having the tadpole. You find other tadpoles, you consume it, and they give you special tadpole powers.
Are they called tadpoles?
Okay. It's a tadpole, okay?
It's a tadpole. It looks like a
It's a
tadpole.
tadpole that looks like it's about to like eat your face.
Yes,
Show you
yes.
a first person perspective where it opens up and it's got like little like Charlie teeth and
like
stuff
a leech.
Yeah, and it goes through your eye. So
Ew.
yeah, I don't know how it fits back there. It
Damn it.
doesn't crush your eye.
Yeah.
I want to play this game now.
Yeah.
You know, somebody mentioned also on one of the podcasts I was listening to that I thought was a really good point. They said that, you know, this game is really dense and deep, but they said like when they set you up at the story is so incredibly simple. You have a fucking tadpole in your head and you got to get it out.
Got to get it out.
That's your goal.
Yeah.
And everything else around it.
It's like me
is
with
just
my
like,
tapeworm.
Is, you know, just added bonus, but it's like it's not a super crazy complex like mess of like mixed matches like stuff. It's just I gotta get this tadpole on my head.
Right.
How do I do it? And that's like your driving motivation forward. And then I think that's an interesting point with the game with so much choice and diversity and stuff like that. It's like start at the core and make it super simple. Just like God of War.
Yeah.
Like the original God of War. It's like literally about the relationship between a dad and a dad and a son. Like it's all it is. And it's like this game does that too.
Yeah.
I think is really cool.
So next question. This is like minute shit, but the dice, is it just the D20? I have a part of a question with this.
So far. I don't
yes.
know.
Okay. So the other dice happen behind the scenes because usually you can
those
use
are
a
like
D4 or whatever.
Yeah.
And for your other spells and stuff like that. So you have to roll it.
Okay.
Or for healing too.
Yeah.
Like, they roll it for you. And it's like, and then you see what it is.
Next follow-up question. Can you change the dice of how it looks?
Yes.
Like cosmetic. Oh,
can.
okay. Because
But
I'm constantly seeing the purple.
There's only one other that I know of that you can get if you get the deluxe edition. It comes with a bunch of other stuff that's from Divinity that you can bring over here.
And there's no microtransactions for like...
Nope. No
See,
microtransactions.
They could have easily put microtransactions for cosmetic of dice.
It is on their website that they aren't going to add that to their games because it is about the player first and the experience.
Okay.
And that's what's amazing. But to your point, back to your other point when you're talking about the story and stuff, or what's really cool is that not only do you have to make those big choices, but the choices that you do make, your companions following you either approve or disapprove. And as things happen, they eventually want to talk to you about certain things that go on your journey. And some of them don't like each other, and some of them want to kill each other. And you can go. I had this one instance where two of my women were fighting. Not my women, but the women in my camp. And they didn't like each other. And if you can't defuse the situation and roll a really high roll, one of them is going to kill the other one.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm curious about that. That's the NPCs fighting with each other.
NPCs fighting.
What about the actual players playing the game? Because you know that happens like all the time.
That probably won't happen. Because when you bring in I think when you bring in your friends, like those stories don't exist. Potentially.
Okay.
They might, I mean, those companions are still there, I assume.
Because, like, let's say you're having a conversation with someone and you disagree with the person having the conversation, but your other player agrees with it. Will that cause, like, you guys in chat to open up, like, a different thing? I'm like, really dreaming here. To, like, attack each other because you get kind of just because it happens all the time in D&D.
Definitely.
There's that one person that's a friggin' asshole, and you're like, just
I
want to kill you, and I'm going to kill you.
I haven't experienced that yet.
Okay,
we did it for a little bit, like early, like a very small amount of time,
like not agreeing to go a certain path, and you're just like, I want to kill.
I don't know. There was like a duel mechanic that I haven't seen yet because that's probably the only way to solve problems. But no, like, no special dialogue opens up or anything.
Because that is interesting. The fact that the NPCs will actually
so you can lose NPCs,
and those certain NPCs, I'm assuming, can help you out in certain occasions. Like I said, with the rogue, with the thieves can't, and stuff like that.
Yeah, so you want to keep them. Like I have my
keep
cleric
peace as much
fighting
as possible.
my warrior or my fighter, and I'm like, I need both of y'all because one heals and has some good buffs, and the other one is like a very good in combat, so I can't lose her.
How do you know when it's getting to that point where they're about to like duke it out? Does it give you like a warning?
This wasn't a warning.
Oh,
so like a lot of times, like you go to camp to do a long rest in order to heal, and something will happen that's like big, and I'm like, fuck, did I save before this?
I just went to sleep, guys.
I know,
Come
that's all I
on.
was doing. So it's a whole thing, and I
was hearing a lot of people
interesting.
talk about that. I never thought about that, because in the Red Main game, it's just like you long rest, and it's doesn't matter. But
Yeah.
Here,
No, this like things
time
happen.
passes, yeah.
You know, when we're playing, it's like, are you going to encounter anything that you have to fight when you're not fully rested yet? And it's like, yes, no, okay, cool. But this one's like, yeah, actual story stuff, like behind the scenes.
God, I wonder how like deep they can go with the next one if they can like allow players, like actual real players, to argue with each other and just duel it out. Like, oh, he decided to go on this path, but you're like, no, let's not do that. And like you bicker back and forth, but you end up going down that path, and you're like, oh, Jason remembers that. Oh yeah, I'm gonna remember that.
Like, you killed my mom.
And then there's a instance where I can just stab you, and I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna hit that button and stab you.
Yeah. There might be some kind of
That'd be
mechanic
cool.
in there that we haven't got to experience yet because we haven't played with each other since the beta, and even that was pretty pretty standard.
But still, what like from the beta to now, it seems like there's just been a big leap,
Significant.
and it's just and from what I hear, it's just outstanding.
Yeah. I put in 18 hours, and I finally hit some bugs.
Okay.
Like, I had a crash of desktop, which wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
And I, what was the other one? Oh, yeah. Like, when I clicked on my character that I created,
Yeah.
like the whole menu system, because on the left, you can see your party and you can click on them. And then on the bottom's like your spells and your items and stuff. That all went away from my main character.
Damn.
So I saved, I exited the game, I loaded back in, it was all there.
So
Only two things I've had problems with.
as long as it didn't erase your whole character, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But heck, I got 18 hours without hitting anything
Yeah, that's
So it was
that's
like-
a big.
game breaking.
Yeah.
Well, there's no like bugs or anything leading up to that point.
So I think I'm curious at this point in time.
Yes.
Do you feel that this is a better game than Diablo 4?
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
You
don't
just
even want to
hearing
play
it
Diablo
is
4.
better.
It's crazy. It's
Don't
just
wanna play it
wild,
anymore.
man. What a year.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Well, Diablo 4 ruined everything with that new patch, and then they have to they're slowly bringing stuff back because people are so upset.
Yeah, I have
Like,
no
how do you-
desire to go back to Diablo.
Well, that's what I was
Yeah.
wondering too. I was like, do I even want to go back? Because now Baldur's Gate's here. It's like I don't even know if I care to go back to Diablo.
Yeah, there's just so much more in-depth stuff you can do
Yeah.
here.
It's
Maybe I
wild,
should get
man.
this game. Just like,
I think you should.
Dude, so what?
But put limits on yourself.
yeah, I know. That's the issue. Like I was having a conversation with someone on the plane about video games, and I'm like, there's certain games that I can't play. Like Mass Effect 2 took over my life because
Yeah.
there were so many decisions, so many like outcomes, and
Yeah.
it hooked me with how much choice they gave me, and it was
Yeah.
addicting.
Yep.
And I almost had that same problem with Red Dead Redemption 2. And I was just like, this game's pushing it where I'm getting addicted, you know? And it's a true thing that happens with people. Like they get like super addicted to this game. I mean, look at WoW. WoW was the biggest, most
Yeah.
known thing that got people addicted.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
that's what terrifies me with this game.
People heard you say you play WoW. They're like, okay, hold on.
Hold up,
I don't
calm
wanna,
down.
I don't want to talk
like,
to you.
My best man at my wedding, we used to work out together every day, getting strong, looking at ladies and all that shit. He got into WoW and he stopped. He gained a shit ton of weight. He looked like the Cartman with all the zits on his face. And I'm
Whoa.
like,
That's crazy.
dude. And he's like, you need to play this game. And I jumped on it. And
Hell
I'm
no.
like, no, I think I'm good, man. We need to go. You know?
you can work out, get you back in shape.
Yeah. So
It happens.
That's crazy, man.
It happens. But I think I for me, I felt like playing so much during the day, like it does get a little repetitive.
Yeah.
It does get a little boring. It allows me to be like, okay, I'm gonna get off of this game for a little bit.
Okay.
And I could come back later, pick it up, and feel a little refreshed. Like,
Fresh.
okay, I'm ready to play it. But just walking around, for me, there's a lot of walking around, picking up items, looking what's on the thing. Here's some chests. I go pick up a chest. There's nothing in the chest. There's like a whole room of chests, and there's like 3 items in there. Now, for me, I'm like, I can't miss anything. Like, I just can't miss it. Like,
Yeah.
I got to get everything, you know? There could be something special in there. And so I think that gets tedious for me. And some of the cutscenes are kind of like, whatever. But when you get in the main story stuff, that stuff's good. That's really good.
I do like how approachable it is. I mean, how easy it is to jump in and jump out. I mean, relatively easy to jump in and jump out. You know, it's like everything you need is on the screen. It's not like I gotta look up like here's all my controls and combos for my character and stuff like that. It's like it's all buttons on the screen. You gotta click it there. I mean, it's a lot to it,
Yeah,
but it's there and presented to you pretty well.
I agree.
And the character creator is pretty awesome too.
Yeah, you can do a lot.
man.
I didn't realize I can create a Dragonborn.
Yeah, dude.
I would have done that. I was like, why did I do a Wood Elf Ranger? I should have done a Dragonborn Paladin or something.
Yeah.
So that same guy that you can revive your fallen comrades,
yeah.
you can actually change your class. And I don't know if you can change your character because I would love to do that.
Yeah.
I don't think you can, but I was like, man, if I would have known the characters that you find after the initial area, or like you find more characters in the starting area, I probably would have been like a paladin or something.
See, I do wish they kind of explained a little bit more of the, because it's such a big important. I mean, there's so much depth to the character creator, and then like the guardian creator thing. I don't even know what the guardian is, but they were like, create your guardian. I'm like, I don't know.
It's just an avatar for the story.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's like it doesn't really mean a whole lot, I guess. But
Not yet.
I was
Not that we
wondering
know
if
of.
it's like, a character that like is gonna like be somebody that needs to be statted up or whatever. But
Maybe, but they don't
that
give you
was really
stats for
interesting.
that.
Yeah, that's true.
You
Yeah,
just
it's
create a
look
character
and
for
stuff,
it.
Yeah, but yeah. Otherwise, I mean, it's amazing how I basically recreated my character that we have for Travis's campaign.
Nice.
And did that because I
Nice.
love having the sorcerer, so I built a half elf sorcerer that has, except instead of doing ice, I'm doing fire now. So,
Yeah. I think I will go rogue.
Yeah.
I like playing as rogue.
It's
good
nice
stuff, man.
It's really nice. Sweet.
Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah. So game of the year? What do you think?
I don't know.
Has a good chance?
I haven't
it has
played
like
it yet. I don't
to
know. I
be
haven't
honest,
played it
from what I've seen so far, it has like a super high possibility.
So I mean, for you,
I do think-
Tears of the Kingdom is this
Yeah.
beating Tears of the Kingdom for you?
On Metacritic, it is. This is the
but
best
for
already.
for Austin Critic,
I don't know yet. Okay, if we're go based on story, yeah, I'd probably do this. There's more story stuff in here for me to latch onto than Tears of the Kingdom. Tears of the Kingdom is a lot of fun. You get to run around a lot, but the story is far and few between for the most part.
That's what I've been saying, man.
So, I mean, we got this.
yeah,
I
you
don't
can
know.
find a lot
I don't
of-
know.
you
I
can
don't
find
know.
a lot of those Koroks or whatever in
think-
Tears of the Kingdom, but
Yeah.
it is. You find a lot of crazy shit.
From a very like subjective opinion, like looking at what Baldur's Gate is bringing to the table, I mean, it'd kind of be hard to see it not be Game of the Year
true.
because of all the voice acts, just everything. This is like, I feel like this is like Lord of the Rings. Like when they all finally they go to the Emmys and all three movies were up for nomination finally because or they waited till the last one before they started winning awards.
Yeah.
It's Emmys, right?
Emmys. No, that's
Wait,
TV.
TV show.
Sorry.
It's Oscars.
Oscars, thank you. Yeah. So yeah, I feel like it's going to be like that, where it's just. I mean, even if it doesn't get Game of the Year, it's going to sweep with like everything else.
Yeah,
all
I
the
think,
major stuff.
I think it might be
But
Game
it's
of the Year.
so this year is just not. We still have Starfield coming
I
out.
know.
We still have Spider-Man.
I know.
But this game, I mean,
Assassin's Creed Mirage.
this game is on another level. I feel
It is.
like,
It
of, like,
is.
I mean, I feel like you can't even compare it to Tears of the Kingdom because of the fact that there's thousands of endings to this thing.
Yeah, but you have to compare it. That's the issue.
Oh, yeah.
You
Yeah,
have to
yeah,
compare
yeah.
it.
They're both adventure games.
Yeah.
So hard.
But no, this is a CRPG, as they say, so it's technically not an adventure game.
But still, for Game of the Year,
Yeah,
you
it's
have
a
to,
hardcore role play.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
you have to compare
you
them
have to
all.
compare them all.
True.
And I think this one is more than likely going to take the cake.
Yeah. Gotta love Larian Studios, man. Shout out to Larian. They know how to make some good shit.
Man, yeah.
They're
Okay.
good people too. I mean, we sat there and bullshit
Yes.
with them for like half an hour about D&D, and it was great.
Yeah, they were awesome. Go check out our videos with Larian Studios when we went to PAX South.
Yep.
We talked about Divinity and Divinity 2, and it was awesome. Great content. Like, those guys are just amazing.
Our most recent video, we interviewed with them about the Divinity board game,
Yeah.
and we tried to get them to tell us about Baldur's Gate 3 release date, but obviously 3 years ago, it definitely was far away from coming out.
Yeah, they were not going to say nothing.
Yeah, but it's pretty great. So
Was that 2020?
yeah, I just looked
Wow.
it up. Yeah,
Wow.
Jeez.
Baldur's Gate 3, love it, good stuff.
Buyer beware. It's going to suck your soul.
Yep.